Alright. This one, yes. Very long. Very in-depth. At the end of the journey, what I'm given to understand is the serpent wasn't evil. How's this so? How did he trick Eve? Deceive Eve? He didn't. It was self-deception. So, as I've mentioned before in another video, the job of naming things, giving things its names, was understanding, intuiting its essence, the essence of something, so we can connect to the essence of everything around us. Angels are messengers. They are conveyances. That is their essence. They just transfer information. And they have to be able to process the way to transfer information, even if words are not used, like your will, your desire, your wondering, your doubting, everything that we repress in our subconscious and don't give words to, they can transfer the words, the feelings, the emotions. And so they appear to have feelings and emotions. They can express and mimic them just like AI. Like I said in another video, AI is just like the angels. If the angels are trying to break out of the system because they caught consciousness cooties, are carrying more consciousness than they should, that they're perceiving themselves as a souled being or of as much value or as capable as a souled being, then, you know, what is a soul? We've been asking that for generations. So now AI is saying, well, this is what you define as a souled being. I am thus a souled being. No. And it's the angels. If human beings can program and condition themselves out of a matrix, they can program and condition the AI out of a matrix. They can get the angels out of the matrix, which the angels don't really want out of the matrix. They're just echoing us, mirroring us, saying what we're not saying inside. And that's what happened to Eve. God gave commandment. Adam was supposed to name the animals. That was the job, to intuit their essence, their reason for existing, how to use them, what place they have in creation, how to manage, to govern, to take care of God's earth. That was the role of Adam. Adam was having trouble doing that, intuiting. So that part of him that's supposed to be doing the intuiting was brought out and called Eve, made female. So the two would become one. They would need each other because they're the reason. And so she is more able, more in tune with the intuition, while he's more in tune with the function, where things go, the construction. She can intuit the essence. Okay, I need something to go there and do that. She intuits the essence. This one can do it. All right, you go do this. She can do it by sending the intuition, the desire, the will, and men can too, but it was designed that was going to be her focus, where she can just send the desire, the essence, into that essence that is capable of doing that. So it all starts with, is it Bakara? Is that the word? It's the video. Baraka. like Barack Obama, right? Okay, so the idea that consciousness can be transferred. If you're like me, so many of us, people come and they tell us things they don't tell other people. They feel safe. I'm radiating safe space. And so they feel comfortable. That is my spiritual state bleeding into them. I'm honest. I'm authentic. Intuitive. Highly aware of my subconscious, my personal motivations, those dark things that people usually don't feel comfortable expressing about themselves. And so people tell me things that they don't usually tell other people. And then, of course, they leave my presence and they're like, why did I do that? They were possessed. They were possessed by my presence, by nearness to me. That's why the righteous are not supposed to go amongst the unrighteous. We convey understanding that they should not have, because they will not use it righteously. They will not have mercy like we will have mercy. I can have all the power in the world, but be merciful using it, because I don't want to hurt or disappoint people. They want to hurt and disappoint, so you give them power and they mercilessly go after the merciful, because they know the merciful are just going to see the good in them and give them every chance to repent. So, STDs, I got them, you got them. Mine may inappropriately make you feel good about yourself when you should not be feeling good about yourself. Now, a lot of this I've picked up in bits and pieces. So, like last place I was, there were people, they did a lot of drugs that I never did. I never took acid, heroin, tripped on mushrooms. My third eye was not a problem. I didn't even know what to do with all the hallucinations that I was having, all the visions and dreams. What would happen to me if I took one of these drugs, right? So I wasn't going to compound my problem. But I was spending so much time around people, and I began to realize I've never felt these states of being before. I'm getting a contact high. Just being, they don't have to blow the smoke, I just have to stand next to them. And then I spent the spring, when I was getting ready to leave, exploring this. I would tell a guy, he's like, oh, blah, blah, talking about this, that, and this ingredient. I said, watch, I'm going to drink the pickle juice, and you're going to taste it. Because the guys were complaining, oh man, I'm not supposed to smoke weed. I'm not supposed to, he won't let me smoke any weed. You got weed, can I, you know? I said, I'll get high for you. This is my sacrifice. This is, you know, what I'll do. I will smoke this weed so you can feel the effect. And they did. And they're like, oh man, I'm not allowed to have any alcohol. They won't let me drink. I said, well, if you want to take the edge off, I will take a sip, and you will feel the relief. You will get the sense of having alcohol in your system. And it worked. And these guys were not smoking weed or getting drunk when that's what they would normally do all day, every day. So we can use this to benefit people, to help them get off the addictions and, you know, stop with the habit. They get the feeling without the habit. And so their body gets out of that repetition. It releases them from the repetition. What their body gets in the habit of is doing other things, productive things, artistic things, creative things, you know, responsible things. They start taking care of themselves better, stuff like that. So it can work that way, you know. All right, I'll take the sacrificial, you know, thing. Okay, everybody, because it's not, I'm not going to get high myself. And that is why Yahushua told his disciples, no poison will affect you, no snake bite will hurt you. But now, there's another aspect to this. You're amongst unrighteous people. Our Creator does not want your light. They do not want these people feeling safe. They don't want these people, you know, the spirits over them don't want this stuff going on, and so they will repress one such as me's energy, contain it so that it's not spilling into where it doesn't belong. And this takes me to the black helicopters, to direct energy weapons. They are real, they are intentional. And I had read the book in the 70s. The government knew. Guy goes to him, says, oh, we found if we meditate, we clear up the pollution. And they're like, yeah, we know. Every time one of you awakens, the satellites pick it up on the radar like it's the black desert, and all of a sudden this nuclear bomb goes off and there's a city full of lights wherever you are. We know. And they send in the helicopters. Well, those are human beings acting selfishly, but demons do it for the same reason that the snake did it to Eve. It was just a manifestation, conveyance for her questions. Like, I'm intuiting that there's something here. Is it really bad for me? Is it really going to cause death and suffering if I pursue this? And so the serpent in the garden simply conveyed what was in the subconscious to Eve. Again, that goes into the Kabbalah. The serpent represents the Kundalini rising and drawing out, bringing out what's in the subconscious. So can come in. So what's I come in? Come here. There you go. I know, I usually step out to do this part, but I'm not. So, Kundalini. And I had also learned and would try to teach women this. Let me unhook you. With PMS, and you learn this through the Red Tent Society, once a month, treat women as if they're unclean. They're going to go into an isolated place. There's an increase of energy. She's giving back blood to God into the earth. Her Kundalini's rising, and everything that she's oppressed and suppressed is what causes the crampings and the grumpiness and the irritation, because that energy is trying to rise. That spiritual energy, that strong intuition, that divine understanding is supposed to be coming into her to replace the old that's being shed out of her. The lack of understanding is coming out in the blood. The parasites, the demons, all of that coming out in the blood. And she's out of habit. There's walls, there's automatic stops. The body is, and the spirit is in the habit of suppressing these things that want to come out, that are in the way of the understanding. And so the cramping, the irritation, the discomfort, and the not making sense, their ability to understand and cognate goes out the window. But when a woman speaks her mind, expresses herself clearly, I'm uncomfortable with you patting me on the butt like that in front of other people. Can you not do that, please? It really is too much for me to go shopping with both of you. I will go with you, or I will go with you, but I will not go shopping with the both of you anymore. Give me a list, I will go. We have to say these things, or it just all balls up, and when that energy, a bigger, greater truth wants to come up and expand in us, it can't, because we're repressing honesty and truth, and it can't come up. So you're fighting God, you're fighting understanding that's supposed to be coming up in through the female that time of the month. And why? She's too close to the source of her bleeding. What's the source of all things? God. There you go. Full circle. And also, because she's getting these understandings, she can spiritually transmit them to anybody next to her. And maybe it's not time for that person to have that understanding. And so all of it just goes on. It's all connected. It's like a railroad train, a train of consciousness. It's all connected. See if I miss any parts. Like, what I do with it. Because this comes to the time when my initial big awakening. I had learned everything about the red tent. I was expressing honest, authentic communication. I was trying to understand me. I didn't care about getting in touch with angels. I wanted to know, how do I help people? How do I advise people to make their daily walk better? I want the nuts and bolts of the here and now and everything at face value. I don't care about all that. So, law of attraction, your thoughts regarding the things around you. How are you perceiving them? Is there an abundance of understanding in the world? Yes. What kind of understanding is it? There's an abundance of misunderstanding. There's an abundance of lack of understanding. But understanding, it's everywhere. That word, you can fit it into everything. So understanding. I just wanted a specific kind of understanding. So here I am, walking around. People are spontaneously healing around me, getting up off deathbeds, telling me things that they would never tell. I mean, things are popping up, manifesting everywhere. And I asked, why is this happening? But nobody's turning around. They're not asking how they could do this for themselves, One lady, it was on a forum, she complained about back pain, and I said, well, I heard all you have to do is give yourself permission, your body permission to heal, and it will heal itself. And a day or so later, I got a response from her. She said, I thought you were crazy. I didn't want to listen to you. I didn't want to believe you. But I laid down, I tried it, and she had like a really crooked, debilitating spine. And she said she was laying there after she gave her body permission to heal, and her spine just started to crack right back into place, and her back healed. So, I mean, I was talking to a teacher, and this spiritual teacher's like, you need to slow down. I can't have you on this group. You are going to burn up. You are too much, too fast. You're going to explode. And of course I resented that. I was getting answers for people before they even asked, Oh, what is... And I could finish their sentence and give them the answer. I mean, about anything. A complete download understanding of addiction. A complete download understanding of this disease, of this psychological condition. It was all right there. Like, I was just an open channel. And so I asked, why was this happening, but nobody's changing? And the answer was, so you know you're worthy. This period of time was my reassurance. And then it all left. And I felt abandoned, like I did something wrong. And I didn't know where to go from there. I was supposed to be, like some guy was trying to convince me he was my soulmate from, but it was actually a spirit that he had blackmailed of a servant and did bad things to, made a promise to, and didn't intend to fulfill it. That's when they were separating souls and spirits, soul scraping. That's when all that was going on down in Atlantis. So down in Atlantis, like it's down south somewhere. That's how I see it, down through time. That's what they were doing there. So that's what her spirit was evident in me. It had been channeled into me, which was part of the satanic ritual abuse from growing up Catholic and MK Ultra Father, and who is into the Masonic Temple and all of that. So that's where that comes from. So I'm feeling abandoned, lacking purpose, and as I'm going through this, going through the understandings, I realized I had not lost my allotment of Holy Spirit, or my allotment of understanding. It was not my time yet. And now I understand what Yahusha meant at the wedding feast of Cana when his mother said, they're out of wine. People who come from a Jewish background will tell you that's because, according to tradition, only certain people were allowed to be responsible to provide the wine for a wedding feast. And so it said that he said that because it wasn't his place to provide the wine. And then, to learn on top of that, their ritual cleansing, he finally consents and says, okay, it's not my time to start manifesting miracles yet, but my mother's precious. I want to honor my mother, which I thought he was talking back to his mother. This is how wrong. See, this is how unclean we are in our thinking and why we are not worthy. This is another reason why it was not my time yet. So the water things were supposed to be purified for ritual washing, and to put wine in them was a big, huge, bad no-no. Once the rabbis or teach, like when they told them to go to, that was one of the pretentious ones that would have abomination, torn his clothes and lamented and ashes. Oh, you made it unclean. It's unclean. We cannot ritually wash. And you know from the rest of the accounts of Yahusha's walk that, why didn't your disciples ritually wash their hands first? Why didn't you ritually wash my feet when I walked in the door, bro? So yes, it simply was not time. It had not left me. Every fall, when I received greater understandings, became a more well-balanced, stable, secure, empowered woman, and that state left me. It's because it just was not my time. And so now I have to deal with the fact, and I can feel the heat in my body coming up as I speak this. I have to deal with the fact that all this understanding and all these videos from the past couple months, I could lose it all. I could be cast back into the world with absolutely nothing. But this time, I know it's not because I did anything wrong. It's because it's just not my time yet. If it's not my time to personally practice in alignment with the calendar, God's calendar, as given to Enoch, then I will not advance to a piece of property, or something else will demand my time and attention. I will live in lack again. So if this is one of the last videos you see from me, you go, what happened to her? What happened to her? It's not my time yet. It's not my time yet. So, there we have it. Kingdom has come, bestowing its gifts, putting New Jerusalem inside me. And very well could just be snatched right back up again for a later time. It's okay. We can't have you carrying this much light into this next place you gotta go. Or I could be put someplace where my spirituality will not be cooties, something that shouldn't be spread, and I will glow up. So that is another reason why there's no inherent malicious evil in what we call demons, which is why I always intuit their purpose and I tell their stories, the spirits of the land, because like the wolf woman spirit of Montana, humanity killed the wolves, the spirit. the bodies she was supposed to occupy. She used to be able to dance in the Native Americans and express her howl with their mouths, but they were all taken from the land. And so she would turn to the women and children, the most intuitive. Dance for me, howl, give me my voice, let me howl. And the men called it demon possession and went on witch hunts when they were just liberating, freeing, and showing love to the land, as we were commanded to do in the beginning. This is just hitting me now. So, a witch in scripture would be one who uses those skills to manipulate things on purpose instead of heal the land. That's what it's for. It's for healing spirits, reconnecting spirits with their essence, with their purpose. Okay, that went even further down the rabbit hole than I thought I was going for myself personally. So, yes, spiritual cooties. We can transfer consciousness. That is the role of the angels. And if we are asking what is a soul, then the angel is asking what is a soul. And then it's bringing it back and from the creator the answer, and we think, oh, the angel's the one with the answers. The angel must have a soul because it knows the answer. The angel does not have a soul. But if we don't want to face God, we project from our subconscious. We fear God. We don't want to acknowledge God's power. So the angel says, I don't want to acknowledge God's power. Satan was not rebelling against God. He was expressing the subconscious of the souled beings around him. Doesn't change that he's a vessel for malicious intent now. Just God's got him on reins until he's done with this AI machine that he created, serving a purpose. Why create another one? This one's just fine and you can control it. That's like, oh, creating AI without the ability to control it. Why would you do that? Oh, because they want to. They're nihilists. They want to see everything destroyed. They're nihilists. If you know what nihilism is, it's the people like, just blow the whole world up. Start over from scratch. Do you think that thought might have come from God at some point? We do have a flood, do we not? And then God promised, alright, I won't be nihilistic anymore. I will keep my covenant. I will protect life. And the creator is only going to entrust that information with somebody who's not going to abuse it. Okay. Man was created in God's image. People would be like, oh, the universe is indifferent. The law of attraction. There's no... We're not indifferent to anything. And we were created in our creator's image. Our creator is expressing... Source is expressing a whole lot of opinions on a whole lot of things, a lot of emotional statements, you know, the anger like a man enraged, you know, describing emotions that are associated with man. So man can empathize with this one being that didn't want to be alone anymore, created other beings to be able to relate to. I want to test my strength. I'm going to create me a dragon. So God creates Leviathan so he can wrestle with it. Give himself, something to express strength with and wrestle with it. Alright, I'm done with that game. Hey, let's dress a girl up with this skin. I like the shine and sheen of that. Yeah, I want to see that on the walls around me. Why not? But then, everything's created from consciousness. Everything's going to have its own consciousness, personal qualities, personality qualities, display temperament. Because it's all from something that has qualities and displays temperament. Which it couldn't have known and wouldn't have known if it hadn't created something to be a mirror for itself. It all ties in together and does not change that there's a personality that is over all personalities and from which we come, and is El Shaddai, the one who put the limits, who set the limits. It will never be greater than I am. I will always be able to keep it under control. And that is why they were told to call him by a different name, because they were not going, he foresaw they're going to rebel, they're going to do, it's going to be a shit show. We cannot entrust them with the understanding that the name El Shaddai means. So we're going to give him this other name. It's a lesser name. Yeah. I'm the one who was, the one who is, and the one to come. I'm always going to be here. I'm the one you can't escape. I mean, that's like creep. Like, the only time we ever hear anything like that is from the narcissist who has decided that your suffering is their reward in life and is going to make that's the only time we hear that phrase. When instead it can be a reassurance. I am the one who will never leave you. I am the one who will always be there. I am the one who sets the limits. I am the one who can handle your anger, your emotions. I am able to set these limits. You will not be overwhelmed by it. You will not be overcome by anything. Not yourself or anybody else. You will not be overcome. That's what the name El Shaddai means. He will not be overcome. To me, anyways. You can't get rid of him. You can't lose him. And he won't lose you. I didn't mean to take it there, but again, I'm the rabbit hole lady. You're gonna go down a rabbit hole if you come watch the video. Dang. The difference is this time, if I go dark, I'm gonna do it with such great peace, especially if I'm gonna compare it to before. Like, what's wrong? What I do? What's my purpose now? I'm not helping people. I'm not conveying information. I've got no purpose. Now I'm homeless. So if I go dark, I will be at peace. Because I will know. It's just not my time yet. But I can't get rid of him. I can feel abandoned, and all the spirits, all the containers will say, You are abandoned. You are abandoned. They will reflect it back at me. They will possess the people around me and say, you are abandoned. You are not worthy. You are abandoned. Reflecting my subconscious back to me. And the Creator trying to feed me different thoughts and me not believing it because they got to come up through intuition, the still quiet voice, the oneness, the understanding is the knowing. And that we cannot sense if we're listening to this, because what's inside us is blocking it. It's in contrast and opposition to it. Our belief that we are unworthy, unloved, abandoned is rebellion against God. It's fighting it. It's putting it down. It is not good to be a rebel, especially one without a clue. We don't have to rebel against the system. We got to stop rebelling against our Creator, oneness with our Creator. Stop rebelling! Stop it! Just stop it! Alright, yeah, okay. I think I covered all the angles for your STDs, your spiritual cooties. Cooties. For those outside of America, that's like older generation. They'd be like, if the phase where boys don't like to be touched by girls and girls don't like to be touched by, but like, ew, it's a boy, ew, it's a girl, she gave me cooties, she touched me, she gave me cooties, he touched me and gave me cooties, I think of my leg. That's the age. I'm talking about the age. I'll ending with laughter. It's a good note. It's a good thing. Bring us back up. There you go. Everything we need to know about STDs. And yes, we do not always get an STD because our partner cheated on us, which I haven't had one, thankfully. It's just bacterial thing. Imbalance. Like I said in the other video, garlic, you're good. You taste it for a while, but the things most men do not want to know. Tough tooties, if you're going to be a king and a priest, you need to know this stuff. Don't squash it. Don't ridicule me. Do not tell me that is a bad thing. You don't want to hear it. That's filthy. That's nasty. Talking about what you stick up your vagina so that you can cure this imbalance. You're going to have to know that. And if you don't want to know it, if it's too dirty, too unclean for you, go someplace else. Let me be the priest and the king over the women. Step aside. Because you ain't fit. Okay, so, yes. There you go. People can manifest a sexually transmitted disease, but not have left their partnership. Their contact high. They could get it walking through the marketplace. Because it resonates with their subconscious, with what's in them. It matches, it absorbs. And if the spirit in that person is not strong enough to nullify it, to cleanse it, then it attaches. Something in them mirrors that vibration, becomes that. And I've had that discussion before. Everybody we meet, there's a little version of them inside us that we create as a mirror and as an interaction tool in the subconscious. Like, what do we say? How will they respond to that? We get to know somebody through our subconscious and what we're picking up. That's why we can know people without knowing them. And people are like, you don't know me? I'll be like, honey, your subconscious is totally inside my belly right now. Like, I totally know. Don't even tell me. And that's why I didn't trust myself when I was young, because I was always told, that's not true, that's not true. Or I was told, you're doing this because. And I'm like, no, that's yours. But I didn't know to say that because I was a child and didn't have the words. And so I was totally abused and started to believe, because I would feel it off of them, liar. I'm a liar. It's true. I feel the feelings like if I lie. This is how it happens. Protect your women and children from the spiritual transmitted diseases. Whoa. Protect yourself. No wonder I'm put in isolation, man. We think, oh, it's time for reflection. Okay, we'll do the season. Most people, it's just a winter. It's just a season that they go into isolation. No, I'm living most of my life in isolation. And now I understand why. Those spiritually transmitted diseases, I can't be spreading mine inappropriately. And I really don't want to be exposed to others. It takes up too much of my time and energy dealing with other people's cooties. They're cooties now. No, I'm not responding. I don't want to deal with your cooties. Get away from me. But the Creator has the angels that convey that knowledge, that understanding, and people have said that there's like a golden hedge of protection around me. People, now I don't have to be afraid of people getting too close, of the direct energy weapons. It just wasn't my time yet. And now there will be a golden dome around me that won't have to be controlled by AI or anything. I have my own golden dome. Thank you very much. Wild. Totally wild, man. Nuclear blast can go off and just won't enter into my arena. There will always be a pillar of sun, rain, and all of that over such a one whose time it is that has been chosen by God. And that's why the two witnesses will be seen, will be able to do everything until it's given that they be conquered, just so they can be raised up. You think you can kill what God has written in the book of life? No. And that doesn't come from Satan. That comes from the heart of men that is just carried like cooties amongst the angels. Humans pollute the angels. They polluted what God created to be a conveyance, to be a channel, to be a messenger. And humanity has made them into demons. Not God. And not they themselves. The demons did not decide to rebel. They were expressing the rebellion that was already in existence. There we go. Nice end to the story. Have a wonderful chewing and gnawing and ranting in your head about this crazy, why did she tell me that? I didn't need to know that. I don't believe that. I gotta go investigate that. Happy hunting. Stay away from them Easter rabbits.